What up? I am back with another video, and as you can see from the title, this is going to be the only dating video that you need to watch here on YouTube, or if you want to download it on your devices or whatever the case is and watch it wherever you want to. But it's going to be on the channel as long as YouTube doesn't take the channel down, or for whatever reason take this video down. I mean, it's not like I'm talking about the corrupt United States empire in this video, although one can correlate the shitty dating scene to probably that, but I didn't think that far. So in this video, as you can see, I am going to give my standpoint on why I believe that modern dating is, well, shitty. Right? What gives me the right to feel like I can, give this type of video off? Number one, as someone who is a modern dater in the United States, that is, or just modern dater in general, but really just in the United States, I can say I think that qualifies me. Another reason why I believe this qualifies me is because, well, all the other people who've made videos like this, whether it be on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, they're qualified without having specific love qualifications as well. So if they're qualified to speak on this topic, why am I not? And third, but not least, I am the author of Relationship Advice from a Nobody. So, opposed to all those other people who may have been talking about this, especially here on YouTube, I highly doubt they wrote a book, a relationship guide, guiding people to pretty much how to navigate the love scene, right? So if that's not qualifications enough for you, then click off this video. With that being said, yeah, this video is sponsored by me. Also, if you would like exclusive wear, the shirt says "Stand Up for What Is Right." I know it's kind of faded, but it's sponsored by me again with Bad for Business clothing. Links in the description box below. Once again, I'm going to keep referencing the book that I wrote. It's just a book I wrote a long time ago called Relationship Advice from a Nobody, in the description box, and even in the pinned comment. I will leave that in the pinned comment, the link to that. It's a free ebook, just a nobody giving relationship advice, hence the title, Relationship Advice from a Nobody. Anyways, let's get right into the video. I am here looking at the notes / script, so obviously that's what I'm going to be referencing. The first point that I have here as to why I believe modern dating is shit is because reciprocity has left the window. Okay, it has jumped out of the window. It has jumped out of the car. And when I say it has jumped out, I don't think reciprocity, and I'm making it seem as though it's a person, but I don't think that it willingly has left the dating scene. I think that both men and women have yeeted reciprocity out of the dating scene, and this is a word that your favorite TikTok girly is going to say, but not actually mean, like a lot of the other words that they use on that terrible platform, right? They'll say these words and know the meaning or not know the meaning, have a general understanding of what the word actually means, and don't actually live what the word is. So with reciprocity, in layman's terms, it's pretty much you giving and receiving as well. Giving as much as you receive. And in today's dating and modern dating, that is not the case. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like that even prior to modern dating, when you look at dating in the past, that there was an equal amount of giving and taking either. Yes, there are times where women were expected to only accept so much and have to give so much, especially to their home, right? So much of their time and energy focused on within the family home, right? But then again, you have times like today and the yesterdays where men are expected to give so much not with just within the home, but so much material, so much money. And in fact, there are times where today and even prior, where men are only expected and only valued based on how much he is giving to the home, or just giving to one individual, his spouse, within the home, or if he is outside of the home, how much money he can give to said home. Okay, so reciprocity has always been a questionable thing within the dating scene. And if you want the notes, by the way, again, if you want the notes and a link to the free ebook, yes, I'm promoting myself again, comment on the pinned comment, or just comment down below, and I will send you this list that I created myself, along with the link to the free ebook. All that I ask of you to do is to, once you're done reading the book, please give it a rating, because ratings help out. Okay, all right. Now, again, as I was stating with reciprocity, we're still on to it, because I still have more to say. That's why we're still on to it. But I'm not going to sit here and act like it has been something that, when you look at it on face level, or on surface level, I should just say, that it's been something that people have equally always given. Now, there are times, today and other times as well, where the man and the woman are equally giving as much to the relationship, material or just whatever, to the relationship, as as opposed to maybe another relationship, right? But also, this whole idea of reciprocity it can be very much subjective too. What if that woman is fine with, or what if that man, let's just say, is fine with giving more than, his partner? That does not mean that, he's in the wrong, or she's just some gold digger. If he is fine with giving more, like not just giving more to the household, but giving more as far as money and other things go, and she's fine with what she's giving, and it's maybe a 70-30 split, or it looks like a 70-30 split, but to them it is a 50-50, or to them that they're fine with that 70-30, and then by all means, that is still being reciprocal, simply because, well, he's fine with it, she's fine with it, they're both fine with it. That is how they want to run their relationship, run their household, if they're living together, right? That's reciprocity. But in today's day and age, people, when I say people want to receive more but don't want to give more, it's them wanting somebody to be okay with giving, let's just say 70% or more, and they don't want to be open to giving. And if that person doesn't want to give that much, or they're not comfortable with doing so, or they simply just say, could you at least bump that 30 up to 35? It's a problem to folks. It's a problem. They don't want to do more than the 30, 20, 10, 5, 0% that they want to give into this relationship, right? They don't want to do any of that. And like I said, you have men and women who are the blame for that. Spoiler alert, I have notes for why men fucked up the dating scene and why women fucked up the dating scene. Why? Because it's not just on one gender. And you're not going to get that type of, and I'm not playing the field because I'm scared that the women are going to hate comment this video, or I'm scared that the men are going to hate comment this video. I don't give a damn who hates comments what. I'm not turning comments off. I ain't. Say what the fuck you gonna say. You know what I'm saying? But these are my thoughts, right? But more notes in relation to reciprocity. I do believe that, this idea of giving is also, a lot of people have this fucked up mentality that giving is a sign of weakness. So when they say they don't want to give, or they're so reluctant to give, it's because they view giving as weakness, right? And when they take something from somebody who willingly gives them something, they don't necessarily respect that individual. You know, it's like the women who say they want a man that is X, Y, and Z, and they still cheat on that man, or they still, you know, have another dude on the side who gives them nothing but a "what are you doing" text, and or come through text, you know, whatever the case is, right? Or free weed, right? You know. But you still have that dude on the side. It's the same with the dudes who say, I want a woman who stays home and does X, Y, and Z. You found a woman who's willing to do all of that, and you still cheating with your fucking coworker, your female coworkers. You know what I'm saying? You still cheating with, you know, a woman who has a job. You know what I'm saying? Who has, you know, all this other shit. So it's like, you do this because you viewed your partner as a weak individual, right? Because you view giving as a weakness. So before you even get into a relationship with anybody, right? Because again, these individuals don't just view their partner as weak for giving them what they want. They view themselves as weak if they were to give people something. It's this weird thing where, again, like I said, I think just people oddly think giving is a sign of weakness. And I know I kind of joked at the beginning when I said YouTube don't punish me because I'm not exposing the corrupt, society or just American empire. But honestly, I do believe that this idea that giving is weakness can be correlated, now that I'm speaking about it out loud, it can be correlated to how shit is here in the United States and probably abroad as well, you know, in other corrupt nations, right? But again, not going in full force on that because that's just a tangent and this video is already going to be long enough, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day, with this whole reciprocity thing, I think that people view, again, giving as a weakness. And if you are someone who views giving as a weakness, people aren't going to admit to it. People may not even realize that's what they're doing. But yeah, honey, homie, whoever you are, that's what you're doing. When someone gives to you, or when you're reluctant to give and you feel the need that giving means I am being taken advantage of, or receiving and that individual giving means that I can take advantage of them, that's because you view it as a weakness. All right. So you really need to rewire. I always have trouble saying that, by the way, but rewire your brain to get that bullshit out your mind, to be honest with you, because that's utterly bullshit to think that giving is weakness, that you giving is you being weak, right? And someone else giving is them exposing themselves, exposing a weakness that they have, right? You shouldn't be in any romantic relationship if you believe that. Whether, again, you believe you giving is going to make yourself vulnerable to being used by your partner, or your partner giving makes them vulnerable for them to be used and abused by you. Okay. Other aspect of that is other aspect of that being everybody views everything as transactional nowadays. Now, I'm going to expound on that later on. But ultimately, like, you've been watching this video 13 minutes now. Ultimately, I think the very, very huge issue with, or the underlying issue with the dating scene, modern dating right now, is we don't view modern relationships as, again, reciprocal connections between two or more individuals. Now, so I'm speaking from my experience and what I viewed and all this other stuff, and I do so again in the book Relationship Advice from a Nobody. Pin comment below, or just let me know if you would like that and I can send that to you free ebook. Alright, but people viewing everything as transactional nowadays instead of a connection, and that's where shit got fucked up, if you ask me. Next bullet point is lack of honesty. You know, that's I think that's cookie cutter, but I'm gonna go over explain because that's what I do, right? So I think that non-committal people, or hoes for short. They don't want to admit to them just not being someone who is a person who can commit to a relationship. Now, there are probably deeper seated, and I think they are deeper seated reasons as to why they are who they are, you know, in relationships, or just a non-committal individual. But you have people who will blame everybody else or everything else except for the source, and or just deny the fact that they're non-committal and say, oh no, I can commit, it's just this partner didn't do this for me. I can commit, it was this, it was that, it's a pattern of, no, I can commit, but there's no history to even prove that. You know what I'm saying? Because if there was a history to prove that, they'd still be in a relationship right now with that person that they claimed they were committed to. Now, it could be a situation to where they were actually committed to this one individual, right? That they're pointing to as their history of proving that they are someone who can commit faithfully to a relationship. And it just so happened that that individual left them, or that individual cheated on them. But we're talking about your actions right now. We're not talking about the past. Sure, if you're like, I can commit, if you can do it once, you can do it twice, you can do it 3 times, you can do it 100 times. You know, hopefully you're not having 100 partners or just in 100 relationships in your lifetime. That's crazy to me. But as far as you claiming you are a committed person, you're not a hoe, you are someone who can commit. Why haven't you done it again? You know what I'm saying? If you could make another hove, why haven't you made another hove? You know what I'm saying? If you could do what I do, how come you're not doing it? You get what I'm trying to get here? You get what I'm pouring out? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you understanding what I'm saying? If you feel, you say that you can do this thing again, you can do it, how come you haven't? It's really that simple. You know, there's something deep seated there. And when I say hoe, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone. All right. When I say people are not being honest, yeah, that's a problem when you're not being honest with your partner. And I'm not saying that lying to people is okay, but when you lie to yourself is way worse than, to me, well, not way worse, but it is a notch level worse. I will say a notch, just a notch. People, calm down. Not saying it's okay, once again, to lie to people. But lying to yourself, to me, is a notch level worse than lying to other people. Again, I am not saying it's okay to lie to people. Shut the fuck up. I've already clarified it 3 times in like 5 seconds, just so y'all know I am not excusing lying to people and saying that it's okay. It is very much not okay. But it's very, very much not okay to be lying to yourself as well. And when you stop lying to yourself, you find it, speaking from experience, once again, and I share this in the book, Relationship Advice from a Nobody, right? When you stop lying to yourself, you find it very easy to not lie to other people. You find it very much so, if I can tell the truth to myself, then I can tell the truth to other people. Not giving a damn how I won't say not giving a damn, but you can't control how other people respond to it. Even if that truth may hurt them and that is not your intent and that's not what you want to do. Ultimately, what will hurt the most is if you lie to them and they find out later on it's a lie. Everyone else is going to act like, no, just keep lying to me, but speaking from experience on both sides of the end, that's a lie. That's a lie itself, where people say, no, just lie to me, or no, I don't want to know the truth. All right. I've been in situations where, again, I've gotten the truth and I've told the truth and the response wasn't as mature, or it wasn't a good response, right? But we all have been lied to, whether that be in romantic relationships. But anyways, no one likes being lied to, but you can only respond to, or you're only responsible for how you respond to it, right? Whether you like it or not, okay? But be honest with yourself. And be honest with yourself at the end of the day. People are lying and saying, I am someone who can commit, and you are a non-committal person. And the reason why people don't want to admit to that, I told y'all this is going to be a very long video, because I am going to over-explain, and the reason why I feel as though I need to over-explain here is to be as clear as possible, right? Now, upon editing this, if I feel as though this can be cut out, I will cut it out. But I'm trying to be as clear as possible, right? If you're bearing with me, shout out to you. If you're not, no shout out to you. Fuck you. But anyways, yeah, joking, kinda. Anyways, though, I feel as though people who can't admit to not being committal is because of what society says about people who can't commit to relationships, how society views them, right? They don't want to be viewed a certain way. How they may view themselves as someone who can't necessarily commit to a relationship, right? How, you know, there are women out there that say they want a man who is X, Y, and Z. Once again, they get that man and then they cheat on that man for the complete opposite of what they claim they wanted. Same goes for men. Men do this too. Again, I gave the example of the man who wants a housewife and cheats on his housewife with someone who is an outside housewife, or a wife outside of her house, or someone just, again, the complete opposite, right? I want a housewife who dresses modestly, and they cheat on her with a hoe who doesn't dress modestly, in quotation marks. I'm using modestly in quotation marks for those who are just listening to this and not necessarily paying attention to the video, right? So people say these things and all this other stuff, but again, actions speak louder than words. But also, yeah, you're a liar. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to your partner. And again, I think that what is going to get you to stop lying to your partner or potential partners is when you stop lying to yourself. When you actually be honest and say, I don't care what the world is going to think of me, simply because I don't see myself as someone who someone who can commit to one partner, right? If that's how you are and that's who you are, be honest with yourself. It don't matter what I or anybody else has to say, but if that's how you want to live your life, that's how you want to live your life. But once again, if you are someone that's like, no, but I do want to eventually settle down with somebody, but for whatever reason I can't do it, quotation marks again. Again, that's some inner work you're going to have to do. Inner work that I'm not licensed to help you with, but I am licensed, quotation marks, enough to recognize, hey, I do believe that there's something deeper here than you just finding multiple men and women attractive. You know what I'm saying? Whoever you find attractive. You know, our eyes don't lie. Our eyes are what they are. You can be in a love and committed relationship and see a bunch of handsome men, handsome women, pretty men, handsome, pretty women. You know, whatever the floats your boat. You know what I'm saying? You know, but be honest with yourself once again, okay? And if you're not going to be honest with yourself, I have a little bit of advice for you. Number uno. If you are the type of individual who wants a man who is going to be okay with you cheating, because there are men out there like that. They're called simps. These are actual simps, right? Not someone who is lovey-dovey with his partner, but someone who is okay with being used because they simply just want the company of, a mate, a partner, right? They don't want to be lonely. They don't want to be lonely. Ooh, nobody wants to be lonely. Well, yeah, that's why I'm making fun of y'all niggas. But anyways, go date a simp. The reason why they don't date a simp, because going back to what I was saying before, it's too easy for them, right? The simps are suckers, which they are, but these individuals who don't want to date a simp or pick me, which is a female simp, right? These individuals will view them and not really respect them. these are your only options you have out here, honey homie. Like, you either gonna change for the better or not change for the better and find a pick-me or a simp that's gonna be okay with you doing what you do just because they want to sit around and say that they're with you. Or they're not lonely. Ooh, I don't want to be lonely. Shut your punk ass up with that shit. Ooh, lonely folks get on my nerve. But anyway. Chapter 2. And we are here, like I said, who is to blame? Men and women. But we starting with the ladies first. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, what's happening, ladies? Now, you're probably going to click off. You're going to get mad. You're going to avoid accountability because that's what women do best nowadays. But I'm still going to be here and I'm still going to say what I have to say. Now, I have my points here. And if it, like I said, you know, or let me reiterate this. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Or let me say it for the first time, right? If it doesn't apply, let it fly. This is an overall message I've said on YouTube or just in general in life. If what I am saying here is, you know, whatever sweeping generalizations you think I'm making here, if it doesn't apply to you, let it fly. If I was genuinely making sweeping generalizations, I would then say, yes, it is true for you. But what makes me believe what is true for you is when you holler like a hit dog. And you say, no, that's not me, and no, that's not all, or blah, blah, blah. Anything synonymous to any of those two sayings or those two comments. Yeah, it makes me believe that it is true, and you are one of them. And your initial response, which happens to a lot of us when we hear something about ourselves we don't like, the initial response is to instantly deny. Deny, you know? But the truth of the matter is, if you were to shut the fuck up and be honest with yourself and stop lying, like I said before, chapter 2 started, you would realize, damn, I am this way. And from there, it's going to sting, it's going to hurt, but it doesn't mean that you can't be better. If you want to be better in life, whether you're a man or woman at anything, you have to be honest with where you are at that moment in time, and then move forward and to make the steps for you to be better. But we're starting with the ladies. Women are horrible people. I'm just going to keep it a buck. Women are not nice people. Women are the most beautiful creatures, or just most beautiful sight to see on this planet. You know what I'm saying? There's other sights, you know, there's waterfalls, you know, there's beaches, there's bitches, there's, you know, in all seriousness though, women are not good people. Like it's crazy to say, but y'all are so fucking terrible at being a good person. You're selfish, you're immature, you're spiteful, and worst of all of that, you're fucking stupid. Oh my god, why are women so goddamn fucking dumb? Again, not all, but but no, I'm being for real. Like, women can be very horrible to their partners, and just very horrible to the people that they claim they love, right? You know? And women are you know what I'm saying? People, I don't think women know, or I do think they know, right? They're not so dumb that they're not self-aware to the point, or they're not hip to how other women are, right? They know how harsh they can be. They know how just evil, downright they can be. And for anyone that's going to be in the comment, well, why not date a man? I'm going to go over why. men are trash too. But saying that doesn't deflect from anything. First of all, you have people out there, newsflash, women, you might be attracted to men, but newsflash, women, not everybody's attracted to men in that way. Newsflash, women, not everybody thinks, acts, believes the way that you do. Newsflash, it's okay, women, that there are people who don't date men like you. You date men, right? All right, editor me here. So I wanted to add some points that I feel I left out in this video. One of the first points being to pretty much counteract the argument. I don't even think it's an argument. It's a dumb statement that, women will make whenever someone, a man specifically, says or he's dealing out his complaints or his issues with women. And they just jump to, well, why don't you just date men? I said the obvious stuff. Well, maybe that man isn't gay or bisexual. That's pretty much what I was saying here. But also, it really is really revealing when women say that comment, and I'm talking specifically about the women who make that comment, all right? Not generalizing all women. I'm saying it's very revealing to the women who, or very revealing about the women who make that comment, right? What you're essentially saying, or what they're essentially saying is, these are the type of women who will, and I bring this up in a video later on, but these are the type of women who will stop dating men not because they are genuinely attracted to the same sex. It's because they feel like, they think all men are like the men that they haven't had the best of luck with when they were dating. So therefore, if they just switch the gender of the partner, that things will be different. Again, I talk about that aspect and how things don't change even when they end up being in lesbian relationships, right? But it just goes to show that how simple-minded these women are. They really think that people have problems, like the way that you can go about switching your problems with the opposite sex is simply just by finding someone of the same sex. And then, as revealed later on in the video, when those issues persist, clearly they should find out that it's not the men that was the problem. It's not the women that they're dating that is the problem. It's them. But they don't see that. But it is very revealing of, any woman, for that matter, who's going to say something of that nature of, well, why don't you just go date men then? Why don't you just go date men? We know how you think. We know how you get down. And this is my argument to you, aside from what I've already said here. So, yeah. It's okay for people who aren't romantically involved with men. Probably they are sexually, but they still want to romantically and sexually be with women. Newsflash, women. Again, I gotta say this because women tend to think, if I think this way, everybody thinks this way. When I say everybody, they mean all women and all men. All right? And someone's gonna comment, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous for anybody. You're being hyperbolic. You may not be that individual. You might be that individual and again, deflecting again. Right? Or you really need to get around other women. All right? And I mean women outside of your family, who might have been raised in the same household as you, so you all have maybe the same belief system and behaviors, and you think because the women in your household don't act this way, right? Or the women that you tend to align with at your church, at your work, at your school, whatever, may not act that way. One, you're not with them 24/7. You know what I'm saying? So you don't truly know. They're probably putting on an act. They could be, I won't say probably, they could be putting on an act that, of who they are when they're around you as opposed to when they're not around you. You know what I'm saying? You probably are doing the same thing. You could be doing the same thing too. Not going to argue whether one is right, what is wrong, but I'm just saying these are possibilities. So for you to assume every woman that's around you, whether that's family or not, isn't crazy, because you might not be crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of stupid of you, like I said, right? But I think the worst thing that women do, aside from me just ranting on women, I think the worst thing that women do in relationships is, modern relationships really, is having unrealistic expectation. This is really the issue that I'm seeing here. The other stuff I was saying, it was meant to be like fucked up, satirical, jokey. You know what I'm saying? But this stuff is actually like the legit, I think, problem that many women face in modern relationships is having unrealistic expectations. There are going to be women comment to talk about so you think we should just settle? You think we should just settle? Well, a lot of y'all don't know what the fuck you want. So settling just means to you, means having, means if the other women, if the girls around me don't live this life, then I'm settling, which is false, right? Or if the girls don't want this life, then I'm settling. Instead of going for what you actually want, you caring about what other motherfuckers think. People who should not, be moving like that. They don't care what you think, or if they do, they should not be moving that way. But if you think I'm just being a women-hating ass nigga, then because like I said, I do have a video, right? I do have a video I want to play for y'all. I'm going to play in a few minutes. There are going to be women out here. I don't want to hear anything from a man. There have been women online who said that, right? I don't want to hear anything from a man. I don't listen to men. Okay. Listen to a woman talk about how unrealistic y'all are.
Popular opinion. Being a man has to be one of the most difficult things in this world, because when I hear some of the requests that women have and how they can contradict themselves, I get confused. It's like, I don't need you to be too sensitive, but how dare you not share your feelings and your emotions with me? I need you to be a good leader, but understand that I won't be following you and I won't be listening to you, and you can't lead me anywhere. But be a good leader. Be strong and show a level of vulnerability, but not too much, because then strength and vulnerability cannot coexist together, because now I'm going to think that you weak. I want you to be truthful and honest, but not too truthful to where you telling me the truth about me, and now I got to feel some type of way towards you, because you're supposed to be on my side at all points and times. Read my mind, but don't you dare assume that you know what I'm thinking. Meet my needs, even though I'm not going to tell you what my needs are all the time, but I expect for you to just know somehow. Be financially stable, but make sure you have a whole bunch of time, even though it takes time to make money. Now, when you hear some of these requests out loud and you see how they contradict themselves, don't it sound silly? And wouldn't you be just as confused as he is?
As you can see, as you saw from the video, it's not just me saying these things. It's not just men in general. It was a woman that you all are going to call pick me, right? But it's a woman who said, hey, I recognize this. I recognize the behavior that women, how women are behaving within these relationships, right? Within the dating scene. Who in their right mind, I was about to say white mind, but no, for real, who in their right mind would want a partner like this? You say you want this, but that. You know what I'm saying? You don't read my mind, but always know what I'm thinking or how I'm feeling, or make every decision for me. But do not treat me like a child that's incapable of making decisions. You know what I'm saying? Don't do X, Y, and Z. Don't spend so much time at work. But if you're broke, blase, blase, blah. Which, I understand that, but I understand what women are saying. They do want to spend time with their man, but the moment he's not working, you view him as inadequate. I've seen women on TikTok, mostly white women, but I've seen white and non-white women on TikTok get upset at their man for daring. How dare he plays video games on his day off? Oh, he's not working right now. He's supposed to be doing something like like a man supposed to. And then the man would be like, I cleaned, I took out the trash, I did X, Y, and Z. There's nothing that needs to be fixed here. I have this time. I am going to spend this time doing something I enjoy. Oh, but you're a man. You're supposed to be doing something at all times. There are women, and you can say, oh, these are supposed to be satirical and jokey and stuff like that. Women do that a lot too. And it's not just the internet trolls, men and women who do this, but women who aren't necessarily internet trolls do this deflection and lying a lot, where it says, oh, it's supposed to be meant to be a joke, when people get on your ass for being unreasonable creatures, right? Oh, it was meant to be a joke, guys. I wasn't serious. But the times where people did defend the women, when the comments, the overwhelming amount of comments were comments defending the women, the woman didn't come out and say it was a joke. It wasn't a joke then. So again, I don't believe you. We see right through that BS. You're not joking. You actually do think that men are only valuable when they are working, and giving money. If they're not working their job, they should be doing something else and not enjoying their time and not enjoying free time and not resting and shit, right? There are women who believe in that. I'm not saying all, but there are women who get down like that. Who the fuck is gonna want to date someone like that? Who in their right mind is gonna want to do that? You know? So yeah, when you get upset at men for saying things like I'd rather be single, or I'd rather deal with prostitutes, because at least I know I'm gonna get something rewarding at the end of the day for giving money or whatever the case is, or I know what the trade-off is here. You know what I'm saying? But from what I've seen, and this is not seen from personal experience, but from you niggas out here who pay for sex, I've seen a lot of even these prostitutes getting real entitled. That's y'all's business. Y'all are just paying for that shit. Couldn't be me. Alright? But anyways, in all seriousness though, this unrealistic expectations that you have, not just as a prostitute, but as an individual. Again, everything is transactional nowadays. Everything is transactional. I've seen women say things like, if you're gonna talk to me, you gotta cash at me something first, or you're gonna have to pay for my time. And it's like, who the fuck do you think you are? And simply just saying, oh, I got a vagina, or look at this, look at my body, and come on now. That's not working on real men. That's not working on any man of value. All right, not to sound like Kevin Samuels and all these other, red pill MFers. That's the color, right? Red, right? Not to sound like any of them, but there are actual high value men. There are men of value out here. And we're not just simply just going to capitulate to any woman's demands because she says, well, you want my body, right? And which goes to some stupid ass shit that I think is goofy as hell. If you don't want to be viewed, again, going based on the hypocrisy. This sounds like I'm going all over the place, but these are just thoughts I've been wanting to get off forever, right? The hypocrisy of y'all women. Don't view me as a sex object, but if you want something if you're gonna have to give me something to get access to my body. That's the only thing I have to offer. I'm willing to offer. Again, going back to the reciprocity thing. You see how all of the things I'm saying is very much connected. I wrote these notes and I wrote the book Relationship Advice from a Nobody, but with very much intention. Everything is very much intentional to what I see is the issue. You have these women who again don't want to give, not honest with what they truly want from a man, not honest with themselves what they truly want and desire. Again, not finding the men willing, or not even just dealing with the men who are willingly giving that to them, who will willingly give that to them, not just simply dealing with the simps. They want a simp. They want someone that's going to give them all the money, buy them all the things, give them the lifestyle that they want. But they also don't want the simp to obviously be a simp. Now, I'm not saying that every man, once again, I already gave y'all the true meaning of what a simp is. If a man is giving all this stuff to his woman and all this stuff, that's how I am. Like, I love to treat, the women, if I am truly, in love with her and all this other stuff, I want to make sure that she's good, you know, with whatever I can do. I'm not going to break the bank for no bitch, never again. But like, you know, I want to help. I want to, you know, make her smile, make her happy and all this other stuff, right? But, you know, with the aspect of I want respect and I also want things in return. And when I say things in return, I'm not talking about sex. Like, it can't just be a situation where I'm giving, and you're like, well, this is the only thing I'm willing to offer. If any woman, even in my younger dating days when I was a stupid ass little nigga, even if all the women was like, nah, I'm just offering my body, I didn't accept it then, and I'm damn sure not accepting it now. Damn near 40. I'm not accepting that shit now. Well, you want access to this body, right? Again, plenty of other women with fat asses, nice shapes, and all this other stuff. You ain't the only one, mama. Alright? That's how delusional women are. They think that everyone thinks like them, but they also think that that they're the only individual in the world worth a damn. How is it that everyone thinks like you, therefore your way of thinking and behaving isn't wrong, but you're also an exclusive ass bitch that nobody in the world is ever going to, you know, find. You know what I'm saying? Which one is it? I'm not wrong because other women behave and think this way, or I'm an exclusive bitch and you're not going to find anybody else like me, so you might as well deal with whatever I'm willing to give you. And if I don't want to give you anything, guess what? Deal with it, because no other woman is going to do that, because we're all the same. That's how y'all move. That is how y'all move. That's why I said y'all are fucking stupid. What the hell? Do you think that's logical? To think that you're so special that no other woman is like you, but you're just like every other woman, so you're not wrong. That's how y'all move. Whether you realize it or not, when you move with this idea of, well, the women around me don't act this way or believe this way, or they live this lifestyle and therefore I gotta live this lifestyle too, but I'm special. And again, every woman, that's the one thing y'all got in common. Is y'all all think y'all special. Y'all all think y'all special. Y'all all think you're the only woman worth a damn. You're the only woman that's... So it's like when you say, I have this meaning your body to offer, right? One, you're also saying things like sex is just something that is enjoyable for men, or just something for the men, which then you all will argue you don't want a selfish lover. You want things done to you sexually that you find pleasurable, which you deserve. But which one is it? Once again, is sex a thing only men should be rewarded for giving you things? Or should sex be a reciprocal act where both the man and the woman are getting pleased the way that they want to? Which one is it? Again, you want reciprocity, but that's not how you move sexually. You want reciprocity, but that's not how you move romantically. Which one is it? Are you a special type of one in a lifetime bitch? And I'm using that because that's how they describe themselves. Not all of them, but you know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, are you like some special individual where you feel like you deserve it all because you're special? Or if a man were to say, I don't have to put up with this, you're going to say to him, well, you're going to find another woman like, you know, all women, or good luck finding a woman that's going to be okay with you being cheap. Which one is it? Which one is it? Is it all women are like this, so you better get used to it, or I'm special? Because what would make you special if you and whatever the number of women are there in the planet are just like you? That doesn't make you special at all. Not at all. All right? So, ladies, didn't mean to make you cry if you're crying right now. All right? If you still even watching. But this is, it's at least that second part First part, like I said, is kind of satirical, but it is kind of true in a way. But the unrealistic expectations that you all have, you can't be somebody with these unrealistic expectations and expect someone who respects themselves to actually want to deal with it. And it's not even just men who date women deal with this. There have been a number of videos of how can I say this respectfully, butch women, right, who were like, well, damn, like, honestly, I thought the men were lying when they said dating women. That when I thought my homeboys and stuff were just overreacting, right? But then honestly, these women are looking at me to be the man in this relationship, and now they want me. Their expectations, their unrealistic expectations that they have for men, actual men. Now they're placing that on me because they don't date men anymore, right? They thought dating a woman was going to escape them from this BS, when it's like, at the end of the day, if you have men and women, whether those women are masculine women or not, when you have men and women saying this is an issue within modern dating when it comes to dating women, it is not an issue that men and masculine women are guilty of. It's a women's issue. This is an issue that you are guilty of, whether you're a lesbian, a bisexual, or someone who was dating men all your life and decided you didn't want it. Clearly, you're the issue here. And going back to chapter 1, if you're honest with yourself, if you're ready to be honest with yourself, you would realize, well, damn, maybe I do have unrealistic expectations when it comes to men and women. You know? And again, I'm not telling anybody to settle for less. But you need to understand what your idea of what settling is. Don't listen to what anybody else says is settling. Simply because you might be okay with a certain lifestyle or certain things, and your friend claims not to be, or they share a TikTok video of some TikTok girly claiming not to be, not to be okay with that, doesn't mean you have to agree with the rest of the sisterhood. Y'all move that way, by the way. All right, if y'all think that we don't know about the sisterhood mentality, y'all are dumb. All right. And I'm not saying there aren't. I'm going to get on the men. Pause. But no, I'm gonna get on the men in a minute. But you know, if y'all think that you're getting away with this sisterhood mentality, the internet once again has exposed men and women to how people behave, right? Y'all may have gotten away with it, acted oblivious to it prior to the internet, but again, we're exposed to all of that, so we know how y'all move. We know how a lot of women out there, like I said, worst of all, y'all can be very much stupid, very much follower mentality. We talking grown ass folks, because I'm a grown ass man, so I'm talking grown ass women. This is an issue I was seeing when I was a teen, when I was a young adult, and where I am now. Unfortunately, I still see women who are following the fucking fray. It's disgusting, because I know of a 44-year-old woman, 4 years old, who is a goddamn on follower. I know a woman who is 44 is damn near 50, but I know a woman who is like 46 or so, pushing 50 in a couple years, who still does not know what type of woman she wants to be. She's constantly looking for, and I'm not saying you got to have it all together in your 40s, right? But you should have a healthy sense of who you are. And there are women out there who simply are following what other women are saying online. It's absolutely disgusting. This part, I'm not joking. I'm absolutely disgusted how women nowadays cannot think for them fucking selves. Like, that's actually really fucking sad. Like, this is not, you might think I'm joking and I'm being dead serious right now. I am actually distraught at how women do not think for themselves nowadays. It's sad, it's disgusting, it's scary even for the younger generation of women that they're being taught that it's okay to not think for themselves. Oh man, saying that shit out loud is wow. Yo, this is, I damn near want to cry for y'all. Like, this is utterly disgusting, y'all. Like, for real, get that shit in check. In all honesty, even outside of dating, get that shit in check, because the amount of following I see grown ass women do, like I said, utterly disgusted by it. I'm just keeping it a buck. It is utterly disgusting how y'all can't think for yourselves. How you base your entire how you base your entire life on what some woman says on TikTok. And of course, like with every content creator, you go based on how much followers they have, how much comments they have, what the numbers are saying essentially. It's a problem to listen to anybody with a huge following simply because they have a huge following, right? And that be the only reason why you take their word over someone who is like myself with a lesser, without a huge following. But god damn, and I rarely say that, but god damn, like, it's so fucking sad how y'all can't think for yourself. So please, I am begging women, y'all can thumbs down this video, you can hate me. Please start thinking for your fucking self. You can find me the most unattractive person ever and be like, he looks good, but I don't like the fact that he's so damn blunt and rude and blah blah blah. Cool. Please start thinking for your fucking self. And if you're gonna make that assessment about me, please let it be an assessment you made up by yourself. Not listen to somebody else say that and then say, okay, this is how I should feel about Ernest because this is what the sisterhood says. That is fucking disgusting. And y'all are, ooh. Let me get on to the men and get to the rest of this video, because y'all, woo. And if it seems like I'm harder on women, again, let me remind you, I romantically and sexually am involved with women, okay? At the end of the day, I want to, at the end of my life, if I'm going to be settled down with a partner, I want that partner to be a woman. That's so yeah, it's gonna come off as I'm being hard on women, but I'm simply saying, hey, listen, I don't want a woman with these fucking crazy traits. I don't want a woman who can't think for herself. I don't want a woman who has to run to TikTok before coming up with an assumption or coming up with a way of thinking of how she should handle a situation, right? Oh, my man is an introvert. Ernest is an introvert. I don't know how to feel about dating introverts. Let me go on TikTok and see what a woman, her experience with dating an introvert is. And then let me base her experience based off my experience. And say that is my experience, although it isn't your experience with dating me or dating an introvert. But you base your entire experience based off of the one woman that you watch on TikTok. And if she has an experience with dating introverts or dating authors or dating black guys or whatever the fuck, right? Your entire experience based off of what somebody says that could or could not even be true, by the way. Because people get on the internet and lie about their experiences all the time. I could be lying about my dating experiences here. I'm not, but I could be. You could get on here and lie all the fucking time. I could get on here and be like, hey, y'all, I used to be, you know what, y'all? I was dating the first lady. I'm not going to say which first lady, but I was dating her. I was hitting that, you know what I'm saying? That's a fucking lie, y'all. That's a lie. I've never been president, never been the side dude to any first lady, none of that. So, like, I'm just saying, I'm just demonstrating people can get on here and lie about their dating life, their sex life, whatever life. But I'm not, they can also be telling the truth like I am and like I have been doing here and like I did do. And again, my book, Relationship Advice from a Nobody. I had to go back to that because, women were about to make me cry once again. But anyway, anyways, to the men, because I think I've drilled it already. You know, the final nail in the coffin, I guess, to women is get your shit together. But no, for real. Like, anyways, speaking of disgusting, though, again, men, we're not perfect. We're not perfect when it comes to dating. And I think men are disgusting. And I don't just mean physically, like we're disgusting physically. I think that emotionally we can be very much disgusting, very much destructive. If women are horrible people, we are horrible combatants of this planet. All right, first of all, I said horrible combatants. I meant horrible inhabitants of this planet. That's a self-typo there. But also, another editor note here. So because I'm not on TikTok, right? When I reference TikTok videos, I've said this in a video before, I'm going to say it here again. When I reference TikTok videos, the reason why I see them is because people share TikTok videos on other social media platforms. Like the one TikTok video that I have here in this video that you may have that you saw if you didn't skip that video. That was something that was shared on Twitter. I took the video from Twitter, posted it here. That's how I get TikTok videos. I'm not on TikTok, all right? So I don't see this stuff when that first happens. I only see it when it becomes viral outside of TikTok or if I see people bring it up in their videos. With that being said, I did not know that what Gen Z men are doing right now. And I mean, men, millennial men, and a bunch of men, not all, but just throughout time, have been putting on facades just to get in women's pants. It's like, I mean, it's nothing new. But the overt way that it's being done now, it's very much manipulative, disgusting, and like I said, or you're going to see here, it's a lie, and we're fucking liars, and we should be ashamed, whether you partake in this or not. Now, what am I talking about? Apparently, there's this trend of men going around taking on personalities that they don't necessarily have themselves. In the video that I am not gonna include here because I can't find the clips myself, but in the video that I'm thinking of that I saw, there were men who pretty much were reading out in public, men who didn't even read books at all, but they just took out a book and got their LeBron James on. If you got that reference, shout out to you. But, you know, they were taking out books and pretending to read, essentially. And they were trying to attract women that way. Right? There were men doing other things like tending to animals or tending to gardens or just doing other delicate things, in quotation marks, that might attract a woman, and pretending, oh yeah, this is just who I am. This is just naturally who I am, just to attract a woman who genuinely finds it attractive to see men partake in certain activities or think it's very interesting and stuff, and then want to get to know that man, right? Just for them to have sex with that woman and then leave her, or just reveal, haha, bitch, I don't be reading. Haha, bitch, I don't be gardening. Haha, bitch, I don't give a fuck about animals. I be killing cats every weekend, right? So it's like, that's disgusting. That's absolutely, and I had to include this because I'm like, yeah, I don't feel as though I went as hard as on the men as I should, specifically for this behavior. Now, like I said, there's this shit's been going on for as long as dating has been a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Gen Z men doing this shit, right? You look at Seinfeld, look at all the other old sitcoms. Where there are men who pretend to be somebody just to attract a woman, right? And when I say just to attract a woman, it's really sex. They find her sexually attractive and they want to have sex with her. It's not to attract her to get into a relationship with her, because those men who partake in this, they're not thinking that far. They're not thinking, man, I want to marry this woman, so I'm going to pretend like I read 1,000 books a day because she's attracted to men who read books. You do know for a fact if you really want to be with this woman, you're now going to have to read those books. You think she's just attracted to men who read? No, she's going to want to either you two read those books together or ask you about what you read. Now you got to read. Now you actually got to read the autobiography of Malcolm X. Now you actually got to quote Alex Haley. Now you got to actually know what the heck you're talking about with whatever book when you read Relationship Advice from a Nobody and you're quoting this guy. Now you actually got to say something that I wrote in that book. You know, and the thing that has me disgusted about it is I'm gonna keep it a buck. I write in public. And people watch me all the time. I get looks from women all the time. But I'm not doing it to try to get fucking looks. I'm doing it because I'm out in public and I'm a writer. And that's what the fuck I do. You know what I'm saying? I got something that's on my mind I want to write. That's how I get shit done. I don't got shit. I don't sit in my room all damn day. I don't got the time to be sitting around at work or going to the library all the time, which the bulk of my writing is what I do here. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm writing up a script for a video or just writing for my personal projects outside of the video. The bulk of the work I do is in libraries. But there are times where I'm waiting for the train, on the bus, waiting for the bus, whatever the case is. Heck, just a normal fucking Sunday and it's sunny out. And I'm like, I don't want to be inside all day, but I do have to do some writing. So let me go out and enjoy some sunlight while doing some writing. This is who I naturally am. And it pisses me off to think that women are now going to look at me and be like, oh, he's fronting. Like he's just pretending to be some poet, some writer or whatever. Because, again, people pay attention to what's on TikTok and pay attention to what's on social media, right? Now they're hip to you niggas, you dirtballs, going around pretending to be somebody that you're not. And I feel bad for the brothers who actually really like reading. You know, those who actually read out in public. Those who read everywhere they go. Because now they're going to be painted with, nah, I'm not going to approach him because, I'm not going to look his way because I think he's a poser. All of this just to get in some pants, fellas. It's utterly ridiculous. And for anybody, because I already know there's going to be some jackass that's going to comment. It's a joke, bro. You don't get it, bro. It's doing it as a joke, bro. Just like how I said with the ladies that was saying goofy ass shit about men not doing anything when they're not at work, right? Men not being purposeful when they're not doing work or doing other slave labor for their wife, right? Or their women, right? Everything is always a joke when you get called out for it. When people support your BS or they stay silent about it, at the very least, it's no longer a joke. If it works, like if you ended up fooling a woman into thinking you're some type of reader of especially books like the autobiography of Malcolm X or whatever the case is, right? You read, great self-help books like Relationship Advice from a Nobody, right? So you're really into personal development and self-improvement. If it works meaning that you fool the woman into thinking this is how you really are. And then you get what you get from her. Don't try to sit here and be like it was a joke. No, it wasn't a joke. It was a joke, in quotation marks, that went way too damn far. And you lured an unsuspecting individual into your little sick little game because you're a fucking horn dog. And this is the shit men do. And then get on that same internet and complain about, oh man, it's so hard for us. Blah, 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 blah. At some point in time, fellas, if you're going to really consider yourself a real man, you're going to have to own up to the fucking bullshit that you do, that we ruin, the stuff that we do that make it harder for men like me, or just men in general. Heck, men like you, if you're not one of these sleazeballs out here pretending to be a fucking Edgar Allan Poe fan or whatever the fuck, right? If you don't speak up against this, if you just scroll past it, or if you just simply just say, well, I'm not doing it, it ain't me, it ain't my friends around me. Again, the same thing that women would say when unruly women do unruly things, and then the women who claim to not be of that ilk will go around and say, that's not me, that's not my friend group. It may not be, but you don't help out by not calling it out. So fellas, it's the same thing with us. It may not be you pretending to be a reader, pretending to be a gardener, or whatever the case is, right? It may not be you, and may not be your friend group. But the fact of the matter is, just as much as I was, and this is someone who's not on TikTok. Once again, someone who's not on TikTok exposed to that. And yet, here you are. You being someone I am willing to guess that is on TikTok. So you've been exposed to that. So you probably knew about this before even watching this video. You knew about it and you said nothing about it. Now, I'm not saying just simply telling the men to stop doing that is actually going to fix shit. But again, what it will do is show that you're not for the BS. And at the very least, y'all say it all the time, shaming works, right? Shame these niggas. Shame them for this very act of manipulation. Again, call it a joke or not. It's manipulation. And it's disgusting. It's utterly disgusting. And don't be the retard trying to compare this to women wearing makeup, because I already can see that being an argument. That's the age-old argument that a lot of men have been making. I haven't seen it very much lately. Maybe Gen Z men stopped doing that because they realize how ridiculous it is. But definitely millennial men, we used to say that goofy ass shit all the time. We meaning you, not me, but I understand. I'm a millennial, so that's why I'm saying we. We used to say goofy shit like that all the time. Well, these women, if they want men to stop lying, they need to stop wearing makeup. Your point would only make sense if A, she was wearing makeup and pretending to be another fucking woman. That's it. But she's wearing makeup. And sure, is that how she naturally looks? No. But is she pretending to be somebody else? No. She's still Sarah from Kansas. She's just Sarah from Kansas with makeup on her dating profile or whatever the case is, right? Still the same woman, personality-wise. If she's into reading while wearing makeup and without wearing makeup. Because that's naturally who she is. You, on the other hand, are pretending to be a reader, pretending to be a writer, pretending to be whoever the fuck you're pretending to be to get some eyes and attention on you. And that's not who you really are. So don't sit here, anybody, whether you're a millennial who said that goofy shit back in your little heydays, or saying that goofy shit now, or if you are a Gen Z and you're going to say that goofy shit thinking that you said something smart because someone older than you said it. No. That nigga's dumb, and you're dumb as well for saying that goofy ass shit. That it's not the same. So don't come here with that goofy ass comparison of, well, if it's wrong for men to pretend to be into Harry Potter, then women should stop wearing makeup. If it's wrong for men to pretend to stop caring about the environment, or that they care about the environment, then women should stop wearing makeup. No. 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 Not the comparison you think it is, my guy. Not the comparison you think it is. Do better. You fucking suck. And yeah, ladies, you gonna tell me why don't you just date men? This is fucking why. This is this shit. What? I ain't gonna encourage violence, but if I was a woman and a man fooled me, like if I'm a woman, right, and I'm into riding, and I saw a man out in public riding, and I expressed interest in that man, and then I found out he was a fucking liar, I'm gonna beat the shit out that nigga. This is why I can't date men, because I'm beating the shit out that nigga. As a man, as a woman, I'm beating the shit out that nigga. That is disrespectful. I think that's even worse than unrealistic expectations that women have. That's fucking terrible to do to anybody. Real shit. That is a terrible thing to do to people simply because you want to have sex with them. Are you fucking serious? Is sex with this person really that fucking... Like, are you that fucking horny to the point you're gonna... put on it, you're gonna lie about who you are? Essentially, that's what you're doing. You're lying about who. I don't care if you use your real name. If you're like, my name is Todd and I love to read, and you're really Todd who doesn't like to read, just because you use your real name don't mean shit, nigga. You still lied, and that's disgusting. Yeah, you getting your fucking ass beat, bitch. Anyways, watch the rest of the video. I like I said, I felt the need that I need to say this because I feel as though I didn't go as hard as the men as I should have. And once I got exposed to this behavior, yeah, y'all utterly disgusting. Fuck y'all too. I mean, like I said, we're disgusting. We don't just look horrible, but we're just disgusting when we are, again, lying to ourselves. I used to get upset. I have it here in my notes too. I used to really get upset when women said all men do is lie. And it took me a lot of growing up to realize actually all we do is lie. We lie to ourselves. We lie to the people we love. All we do is lie. You know, whether we are politicians, I mean, all politicians, male and female, and non-gender conforming politicians lie. But you know, what if YouTube dings me for that? Everything else I said here was okay for YouTube, but me saying politicians lie is what gets this video taken down. I fucking hate this platform. Anyways, let me not call for the shutdown, but or the shutdown on this video. If YouTube went away, bye-bye. But anyways, on to the topic at hand. All we do is lie. So we can't get upset anymore when women say all men do is lie. If you're like, not all men, or not all this, and like I said, if that is your initial response to things, hit dogs do what? Holla la 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 la. They holla. They do that because, well, they just got hit. Now, I'm not saying that's applicable. That some people point out, you know, that they don't do it, or just point out sweeping generalizations and they actually don't la 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 la. But like, you can do so without and still acknowledge where the generalization came from. And I'm not excusing the generalizations, by the way, that men and women place on one another, but they do come from somewhere. It's like the whole aspect of stereotypes. Is it right to stereotype everybody? No. But do they come from somewhere? Absolutely. Not all of them, of course. But there are stereotypes that do come from truths. You know? Same thing with generalizing the opposite sex or whatever, right? Or even your own gender, right? So we do lie. And if that's something that you want, that's not a perception that you want for yourself, simply stop lying. And when I say simply stop lying, it simply, I won't say simply. I will. What I'm simply saying is that if lying is an issue for you, get do the work that's going to make sure that you're not lying, not to yourself or to your partners as well. It's going to take work, but the simple solution, not saying the solution will be simple, but the simple answer, I should just say, is to stop lying. Stop lying. Be a man of your word. Be a man of truth. And yeah, there are going to be times where you run into women. I still run into women who want to date, but they're still very mistrusting of men. That is not your problem, though. That doesn't mean, well, she think I'm a liar anyway, I'm just going to go in and cheat. That's the weak ass excuse. It's like the drug dealers who started selling drugs because the news was saying every black man in the hood sells drugs. Well, they think of me of a drug dealer or a criminal anyways. I might as well do this shit. Weakest excuse, any man. And I've heard men say this shit most. But I've seen women use that excuse for, well, if they think I'm a hoe, I'm going to be a hoe anyways. Weak ass excuse when men say it or women say it as well. But again, very disgusted when men say that shit because, one, man up, nigga. Why the fuck are you going to... do you really think that proving somebody wrong is... in your fucked up mind, you want to prove them wrong about you. So you're going to do the exact thing that they say that you do. And you think that's proving them wrong? Oh, I don't care about proving them wrong, but they said I was going to do this anyway, so I might as well. It's an excuse. And men of quality don't make excuses. We own up to our shit. If drug dealing is what you want to fucking do, just say you want to do that. Again, going back to the honesty aspect. Now, let's stick to the relationship. If cheating is what you want to do, being with multiple women is what you want to do, being with multiple men is what you want to do, just say that. Because that's what a man will do. Be honest with himself and say, nah, I'm settling down and that just ain't my thing. Now, if there's no deeper seated reason as to why that's not your thing, then I don't think there's more work that is needed to be done. If it's just simply a preferential thing, where it's like you would like multiple partners or you just would like to have whatever connection you have with multiple people, be honest about it. Stop leading these women on into thinking you want more than just sex. You want more than just their bodies. If that's what you really want. Be honest. Try it out. You will be surprised. Being honest. You said what you wanted. That's not what they wanted. You go find someone that's willing to give that to you. They go find somebody that's willing to give them what they want. A lot of men don't move that way. A lot of men don't think this way. And that's a problem with men in today's society, right? We would rather scheme our way into getting something and then get mad when we get called liars. We'd scheme our way into getting something and then put on acts and stuff and, again, get upset when we get called liars. Just be truthful, bro. If you just want to don't paint yourself. I know a lot of good guys, quotation marks, who just want sex. But and modern society has made it so that a man can't be a good guy if he values sex or he just wants to have sex. He just want to bust a nut. Sex is fucking great. Sex is great. It doesn't make you a bad person because you like sex. What's that clip of, Eddie Murphy? I'm forgetting the movie. But ass is good. You know what I'm saying? If I can find that clip up.
Don't be ashamed because you went out and got your little ass.
Look out.
Ass is good.
That's right.
I know many of y'all may be saying, how the preacher tell be saying ass is good. How y'all think y'all got here? If it wasn't for ass, you wouldn't be here. Ass is good.
Come on. Right.
Evil is good and ass is good. And if you get you a piece of evil ass, whoo!
I'm going to share it and hopefully don't get it taken down, this video taken down. And if this shit gets taken down, I'm going to let y'all know right now. Patreon, description box below. Alright? But, yeah, ass is good. Alright? But no, for real, sex is great. you know what I'm saying? People gonna argue you should only be having sex if you want to procreate. Listen, sure, if that's how you want to live, that's how you want to live. But some of us being me, when I say us this time, I'm including myself. Some of us like having sex for the feeling. You know what I'm saying? For the fitness and the feeling. Shout out to Uncle John for saying that. But nah, like, some of us actually find pleasure in having sex. That doesn't make you a good or bad person. What makes you a bad guy, men, is if you are putting on the front like you want more than sex from this individual when you don't. That makes you a bad person. What makes you a bad person is if you are, again, doing some other mischievous thing to get some sex. That makes you a bad person. Just keep it real. And if you bat from, if you're 2 for 100 in the experience, and it's not, that's not really like my batting average when I was honest with, because honestly, I'm not the type that's gonna find, you know, I mean, yeah, I see a bunch of attractive women, but I don't want to fuck all the women that I find attractive. If I'm not dating her, I don't want to fuck her. That's how I genuinely have been moving. But yeah, there have been times where the reason why I just wanted sex from the woman is because I knew she was the trash ass woman with a banging ass body and a banging ass face. So it's like, yeah, you know, would I hit that? You know what I'm saying? For sure. Would I date her though? Hell nah. So again, those are the moments where I was just like, hey, this is what I want from you, you know, and that's that. It's gonna be awkward. You might not be super forward. I'm not the most forward. I am far from forward. I'm just being some more honesty. I am far from the most forward man when it comes to approaching women. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am the dude that does it scared. You know what I'm saying? I am the dude that is approaching a woman and I already am like, yeah, she ain't feeling me. And then I'm always like pleasantly surprised when I do get a response that it's the total opposite of the response I played out in my mind. But I do it scared, as the saying goes. I do it anyways, you know? So in moments like that where I just wanted to have sex with that woman, I was just like, hey, listen, you look good. I look good. But no, it was you look good. And really, like, this is what I want done. Like I said, the 2 times it worked. The less than 5, but maybe 2 times that I tried that, it didn't work. And then after that, I stopped doing it because, like I said, it got to a point now where it's like, I really don't care how good she looks. If I won't date her, I'm not going to fuck her. It's just how I'm moving. But that honesty is going to be, it's going to be, you know, you might be the type of dude where you're not super forward. Even if you are super forward, and when it comes to approaching women, it can still be nerve-wracking. But you did it. But if you truly consider yourself a man of value, men of value, we get scared, but we still move forward when we're scared. You know, we don't try to, you know, again, try to put on an act and lie our way through things. That's just not what, you know, a man of value does, right? So at the end of the day, fellas, you know, I think that, and also, just like I said with the women, let me put it here in my notes. Stop leading with your I have it here in my notes. Stop leading with your wallet and materials. Again, just like I always said with the women who get upset at men for viewing them as a sex object just to go around saying all I have to offer is my body for sex. If you don't want to be viewed as a walking, talking, breathing ATM or someone who can provide just material gains for a woman, stop leading with that. or stop letting that be the only thing that you have to offer. It's really that simple. If I go to a restaurant, right, and this is a restaurant that only has soup dishes on their menu, and they get upset that nobody's is requesting their dessert dishes or their non-soup meal dishes, all you got is soup on the menu. Hell, your restaurant is called Soup Restaurant. How much clearer can you make it that you only offer soup, but you're upset at me and everybody else because we're not ordering the dessert? We didn't know that you serve dessert here. You're upset that you at customers for not ordering the chicken and rice dish, the pasta dishes you have, the sandwiches, the chicken fingers and fries. Like, we thought you just only offered soup. Why are you upset at me? Because everything on the menu is a fucking soup dish. So it's like, again, with that analogy, you can't really be upset if all you are offering is your body, your material, and then when customers or the people you want to date or fuck come around and they see that, they don't see you offering anything else, and they're like, okay, that's all I want then. How are you going to get mad at them for that? How are you going to get mad at them for that? You can't get mad at them for that at the end of the day. Oh, she a gold digger, bro. That's why I'm mad at her. She a gold digger. Because all you offered was gold. And she's at least honest about the type of woman she is. You was waving gold around. Literally and figuratively, you was waving gold around. And a woman who is like, oh, this is what I like, this is what I want from a man, approached you. Why are you mad? Why are you upset? Why are you upset? That's all you offered. You didn't say, hey, listen, I got this, but I got this because, I'm a working man and I do X, Y, and Z. But also, I don't just want to be a gold provider to you. I want to be X, Y, and Z to you, or I would like something else more than just your body. You didn't offer that. You didn't make it clear at all. You can't be upset at anybody, man or woman, for not, for looking at what's on the menu, what you presented, and saying, damn, that's all you got. Now, restaurants have secret menus and stuff, and I'm not comparing people to restaurants, but I'm saying in a sense of like, listen, if you are going to only advertise one aspect of yourself, you can't be upset when all people see is that one aspect. You're expecting people to want to dig deeper into who you are. Nobody has to do that. Who the fuck do you think you are? I mean, we already went over how entitled women can be. But fellas, who do you think you are that any woman is going to feel the need that they want to dig deeper? Now, if that's something they want to do, that's something they want to do. But men, we are the type that even if a woman does express interest outside of what we are advertising, and a woman wants to dig deeper into who we are, we shut her down. So you can't want women to see you for more than what you have to offer for her and her lifestyle. But then get upset when she wants to do that digging deeper. She wants to know more about who you are. She wants to see other aspects of you. That fear of being judged, that fear of being open, that's at the end of the day, that's on us as men. It's not on the women. It's not their job to open us up. Again, if you find a woman who is willing to put in that work, who's willing to be, how can I say this? The word is slipping my mind. Eager enough, or that's not the word I want to use, but just for time's sake, I'm going to say it. But if you find a woman who is diligent enough, I think that's more so the word I want. Diligent enough to want to continue to push and push and push and say, no, there's more to you and I know it, and I want that other side of you. I don't just want the purses or the trips to Turks and Caicos or whatever. Get saved. I didn't have to rip off my shirt and go Hulk mode. All right, but yeah, as I was stating, fellas, and this is gonna wrap up the video. Don't be the dumbass. Don't continue to be the dumbass dude that's like, all women want this, all women want that, and then you just lead with whatever, or you just offer with whatever. And again, like I said to the women, I'm not going to repeat what I said to the women, because I feel like, you know, even though I'm going to get a billion "you hate women" comments, I'm not. But, you know, even though that's going to be the perception for those who are willing to even watch, you know, that's, I still feel as though the message was said. I don't need to keep speaking to the women. Speaking to the men now. All right? You know, and we got to stop this. We got to stop lying to ourselves, to everybody else. Stop lying. Also, with that lying, and when I say lie, I don't just mean saying one thing and doing another. I mean the conniving, manipulative, all the things that, all these things are under the umbrella of being a liar. Someone who's manipulative, someone who is abusive, someone who liars, right? So once we stop doing that, we will see things be better for the men in the dating scene. And again, as I stated, there are going to be people out there who want to continue being lied to. Why would you want someone like that in your life? And as I stated from experience, and you can read about that experience in Relationship Advice from a Nobody, pin comment, the same folks who want to be lied to or claim they want to be lied to will still react negatively to the lie once the lie is revealed, or once it's been revealed that they've been lied to. So yeah, don't believe anyone who says I would rather live the lie, right? Because when the lie is revealed, they're upset. When the lie isn't revealed, they're upset. Be truthful. Because at the end of the day, you save your soul, you save your conscience, if you even have a conscience. And yeah, you may have hurt somebody, but you didn't compromise yourself by keeping somebody else's emotions, I guess, or trying to control somebody else's emotions, when, as I stated before, they still end up being upset, you know. But yeah, the golden rule. I have a chapter called The Golden Rule, and I was about to say Late Nights on Broadway, but that's my novel book. That's out right now if you want to go check that out. But I meant to say Relationship Advice from a Nobody. Yes, self-promoting like an MF today, and you got a problem with it? Well, I'm the only sponsor on this video, so, and on my channel, so get used to it or get lost. But The Golden Rule is a chapter that I have in the book, but I have 2 bullet points here that I will not expound on, because if you want a deeper explanation, that's going to get you to download the book once again. All right. But one of the points that I have here is be the partner you want. The other one is treat people the way you want them to feel when they are with you. Again, if you want more of an explanation of both, download and read Relationship Advice from a Nobody, written by yours truly. Okay? But that's it. That's this video here. This is my take on why modern dating is shitty. And again, with my opinion, I do believe this is the only dating video you need to watch ever. Everybody else is, you're going to have people who watch this video, bigger people with bigger platforms watch this video, steal what I have to say here, and then point it out as their own experiences or their own point of view. You're going to have people who probably take this video, this exact video, and share it somewhere, but don't give me credit at all. Whatever happens with the message, as long as it stays up, it stays up. And that is the point. And this video is finally done. Ooh, long as hell. But I got it out the way. Alright? Not going to do an outro because, well, this video is long as hell. So, later.